Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies have been taking the internet by storm pretty much for the last few years. However, with countless predictions being made by different entrepreneurs from all over the world, is 2021 the perfect time for you to invest in Bitcoin? If you're looking for an answer, make sure you watch this video to the end, because this video is for you. Hello future billionaires, welcome to Stock Investing 101, the channel where you get stock inspiration, motivation, and knowledge to become the next future billionaire. In today's video, we are here to give you our predictions for the Bitcoin price and growth in 2021, and talk about some of the most important things that you need to keep in mind while investing in Bitcoins this year. By the end of this video, we will discuss some of our exact Bitcoin price predictions. So, here we go. It's no surprise that people fell in love with the idea of Bitcoins and cryptocurrencies. They're basically everything we've ever wished for. A decentralized form of currency that gives you complete control, an encrypted system that is absolutely impossible to hack, and it gets even better. It allows you to conduct transactions at ease from any corner of the world, just by browsing the internet. However, we've seen some pretty crazy hikes in the price of Bitcoin, especially in the past year. Today, the value of Bitcoin has gone up $46,000 in February 2021. Ever since that happened, various experts and entrepreneurs have been voicing out their opinions and predictions of where the price of Bitcoin will settle by the end of this year. Some projections even go all the way up to $650,000. But what does this tell you? Does it mean that now is the right time for you to go ahead and invest in Bitcoins? Which of these predictions are accurate? Now, I know most of you have spent an enormous amount of time researching, reading, and watching or listening to Bitcoin-related content online while trying to analyze the Bitcoin cycles of the past. And we can all agree that we have seen some significant fluctuations in the price of Bitcoin from 2016 to 2021. Over the years, we were able to distinctly see a clear pattern of prices crashing on looking closely at the statistics. For instance, in the 2012 to 2013 bull run, the price of the Bitcoin went up to $1,000 before crashing down by 80% in the same cycle. Similarly, in the 2016 to 2017 cycle, the value went all the way up to $20,000, and then it came crashing down by 80%. Makes you think, huh? According to this, if we follow the usual pattern where the prices usually get kicked off by halving in the month of May, and then eventually they go skyrocketing upwards parabolically and then crash by 80 to 90%. I know a lot of you have already been mapping what happened in 2017 to the current price of the Bitcoin, and that is what any investor would normally do, right? But let me help you visualize what happens in an ordinary bull cycle. For instance, the current cycle was kicked off after the halving, which took place in May 2020, where the Bitcoin block reward that miners get went down from 12.5 Bitcoins to 6.25 Bitcoins. Now, this also implies that the inflation was cut in half, and so was the supply, resulting in a shortage. Confused? Don't worry, let me break it down for you and put these in simpler terms. After the halving, the number of Bitcoins entering the new circulation gets cut down by 50%, thus resulting in a scarcity of Bitcoins. And the higher the scarcity, the higher the price of one Bitcoin goes. Suppose the current cycle followed the same pattern as what has already happened in 2016 and 2017. In that case, we might actually see the price of a Bitcoin going up parabolically this year, potentially even peaking around 100k to 300k, and then crashing down by 80 to 90% in the next couple of years. That's if this were a traditional, normal cycle. But back in 2016, there was still a considerable amount of distractions and uncertainty surrounding Bitcoins. And the market as of today is much different in 2021 from what it used to be in 2016 or 2017 due to various reasons. For example, we did not have COVID back then, and the stock market was still intact. The interest rates were still high, and inflation was not increased. There were questions and doubts in the community back then surrounding Bitcoin's future and sustainability. Was it indeed a reliable mode of payment or store of value? But the growth of Bitcoin over the past years, especially in 2016, has proved many people wrong and established clearly that it is indeed a digital form of gold, or as Dan Held calls it, Gold 2.0. And it is an excellent stock hold wealth. It is being claimed by various crypto analysts worldwide that the conditions have never been more favorable than today for Bitcoin against the global macro indicators. As crypto analyst and leading Bitcoin investor Dan Held wrote, "Bitcoin is needed. The narrative is singular, and the ability for global value to flow into Bitcoin has never been easier." So, what makes 2021 more special? How does this tell us that the 2020 bull run will not just be an ordinary cycle? Well, while comparing a cycle to its previous one, there are various other factors that you have to keep in mind and consider. What were the economic state or the government's attitude, and the banking system's attitude towards it back then? Even the general opinion on Bitcoin has changed from what it was in 2017. One of the main reasons for this is COVID. COVID has turned the global economic scenario completely upside down. In order to support the economy, major central banks all over the world, controlled by governments, had to resort to the unprecedented printing of more money. And at some point, it got out of control. This means that there is more money out there in paper form than ever before, resulting in a devaluation of printed or digital cash in the economy. In other words, this has resulted in massive inflationary pressure. Perhaps as a result of this, in the current economic scenario, there is a general conclusion in the market that Bitcoin is a much smarter way of storing wealth. The decentralized Bitcoin currency is a much more reliable stockhold of value and an effective way of protecting wealth from imminent problems in the economy like inflation, devaluation, etc. And it gives us absolute financial freedom and security against the intervention of governments and banks. It could even go on to replace gold as the ultimate safe store of value. And various experts and financial institutions like JP Morgan and Citibank have already been suggesting the same. This is another reason why we think that the prices of Bitcoin can only go all the way higher in the foreseeable future. Another reason is, unlike what we had back in 2017, Bitcoin now dominates most forms of social media. Like, for instance, nowadays, we have Bitcoin-related blogs, podcasts, Bitcoin Twitter, Bitcoin YouTube, and much more. This makes it much easier for the average person to learn and do research about Bitcoin. And it is not difficult as it used to be in the early stages of 2016 and 2017 to study and invest in Bitcoins. This is another reason why the situation and economic conditions are more than ever in favor of a super cycle. And it will also play a significant role in deciding the price of Bitcoin in the future. Another critical point to be considered is that the participants and the kind of investors who bought and talked about Bitcoins have now changed since 2020. With big companies like PayPal, Guggenheim, and MicroStrategy backing Bitcoin now, these days it can overcome a price drop of $2,000 in just a few minutes. The same cannot be said about the state of Bitcoin in the market 3 years ago. After several years of skepticism, Wall Street might finally start backing Bitcoin now, and this could be a game changer. This has also, quite effectively, paved the way for the rise in Bitcoin's price to potentially cross 100K by this year. Holding all of this in mind, it is now time to tell you our prediction for the price of Bitcoin in 2021. So, when you look at the charts, we are already way above the estimated or suggested price points at present. Calculating by stock-to-flow ratio, Bitcoin's price could be $290,000 by the end of this year. But in November 2020, a prediction that was made by Citibank got leaked, and it was stated that in the leaked document, the prices of Bitcoin would go up to $318,315.72 in 2021. However, following the same pattern as the last similar bull run, we found out that the price of Bitcoin is more likely to increase by 18 times from Bitcoin's all-time high, making it to $360,000. While keeping all of these in mind, our prediction for the price of Bitcoin in 2021 is $322,000. This has already been one of the craziest bull runs ever. It seems inevitable that Bitcoin's price reaches $100,000 sooner this year. And our word of advice to all of you is that if you do not invest in Bitcoins before it reaches the six-figure mark, you will miss out on a lot. Well, that's it folks, we have come to the end of today's video. If you'd like to stay up to date with the best and latest content about stocks and entrepreneurship, then make sure to subscribe to our channel and leave a like on this video. Did you find this video valuable, or do you want to add anything? Make sure to let us know in the comment section down below. We are posting a new video every day with the most undervalued stocks in the market right now.